Greetings, welcome back, Eric's UK here again. I've just finished watching a video by Ronnie Bradley about cutscenes and his quite strong dislike of them, I think. And that's cutscenes in role-playing games. Cutscenes were never something that we did until probably the late 90s. Somebody that I used to play with, he was quite a he's quite a good GM, and he liked his games to be very cinematic. You know, he's a big movie buff, and he liked using the same sort of elements that a director would make for a film, and incorporate them into his role-playing games. And you know, he wasn't a D&D type player. He was. We did Deadlands, Call of Cthulhu, a few little things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, those sort of games, which probably it worked very, very well for. One of the things that Ronnie talks about is, I think primarily in this video, is this idea that the GM is using this to input across information that the characters don't have but the players will get, and that it's not how to put it, you're going to have players that are not going to be able to separate that information, and therefore the characters will learn something that they shouldn't have. I'm not sure I fully agree. I think it all depends on the group that you play with. I've been, you know, playing role-playing games now for nearly 30 years, and I've never found this to be an issue. Maybe it's because of the people I tend to play with, but I've only used it in a few games. In a big Call of Cthulhu campaign I ran a couple of years back, I did used to use little side cutscenes during the game. Nothing that really gave anything away, but it did sort of add to the atmosphere and the flavour. And I've used a few to end a session. You know, we're getting to that sort of point where we need to wrap up for the night, and so I have a quick ponder about what's going to happen in the next session, either, you know, because it's written into a published campaign, or because I know what's going to happen because it's my scenario sort of thing. And I do tend to give like a quick little flurry of small, I don't know what the right term is, but small little scenes that I know are going to happen, or if they don't happen, they will happen in very similar ways, so it doesn't really make any difference. But they would never give anything away. You wouldn't hear you know, an evil villain's monologue or something like that. Perhaps you'd just see the villain walking down the corridor, you know, of their dungeon, and one of the cells, a figure grabs the bars and peers out, and it's somebody that they recognise that they've been looking for. But I know this is going to happen in the next session, so it doesn't matter. I know probably Ronnie would probably disagree with this, but I find that if you've got the right group, it doesn't matter, because they are able to put aside the fact that the character doesn't know that, and only the player does. And I do think that those little moments, especially when you're not going to play again for another week or 2 weeks or whatever the break is, it does drive the enthusiasm, it does drive the interest. So I'm going to say I don't quite get his such a strong dislike of it, but then he's probably playing with people that are going to mix that character and player knowledge. But I think if you've got the right group and you've got the right GM, and you're not going to start being silly with it and giving away far too much information, I think using little cutscenes like that is a good addition to the game. But it does depend on your group. That was just my quick little video response to Ronnie's post there. I'm very much interested to see what the rest of you think. Are you in agreement with how Ronnie sees it, or you know, are you for or against it? Until next time, take care and good gaming.